So I was struck with inspiration over the last few days to do this little video series where I share with you how I'm working with the first week in the Year of Dreams 2019 as a way that we can all do it together. So I think this is a great idea. I'm so glad that I had this idea. I wish I had had it sooner because you can probably hear in my voice I'm not feeling well. I have a cold. It's the middle of the holidays. It feels like everything's just kind of chaotic. I'm really missing my routines and my structures, and kind of like there's just too much socializing going on. So I'm not feeling at my best. So I really struggled with that. How do I make a whole video series, 5 videos, when I'm not feeling at my best? So I've just been kind of exploring that question for myself, and I realized actually this is really good because when I started the Year of Dreams, and I started it in 2016, so each year it does grow and evolve as I'm able to actually like fulfill my mission a little better each year. But when I started it, there were 2 purposes that it had, and the first one is that to have some form of inspiration and support coming at you every week all year. And so that you don't have to always receive it. You can skip weeks. Like, you don't get behind, right? It's not about doing all of them. It's about always being able to receive a new invitation. And so just to have that steady source of support for whenever you need it. And then the other purpose was that it be something that meets you where you are and helps you move towards where you want to be. So meeting you where you are, for me right now, that means I have a cold and I'm overwhelmed by all of this holiday stuff and I'm not at my best. My head is fuzzy. But this is where I am. No one is always at their best. No one always believes in themselves. And that's an important part of working with the Year of Dreams is being where you are, working with what's actually there. That's what Creative Dream Alchemy is all about. That's the art and magic of taking what you have and using it as fuel to create what you want. So it's not about waiting till you feel inspired and sure of yourself, or it's not about pretending you don't have doubt and fear. So really meeting yourself where you are. And so in light of that, I realized, well, of course, these videos where I'm sharing how I work with the material, of course, it's perfect that I just be where I am. So I just decided to dive in. I'm going to work through the different parts of the weekly journaling kit one by one. I will just share one each day, so we're just doing one thing at a time. You have access to everything, so you can go and explore more if you have more time on any given day. That's fine, but I'll just show one at a time. So the first thing I wanted to do was the Creative Dream Experiment, because that's the thing that I'm so excited about. Right? Putting my glasses on just to remind myself and you. The theme is the cosmic laboratory. So the cosmic as in a sense of awe and wonder, and laboratory as in exploration and discovery, which means we don't already know what's going to happen. We're open to exploring. So safety goggles, the Creative Dream safety goggles are on because we don't know what could happen. Pretty funny to me how we're talking about exploration and discovery and like not trying to control the process and not knowing where it's going to go. That I actually thought I knew what these are going to look like. Like when I was working on the structure behind this and creating these little jars, I had this whole idea mapped out about how I was going to play with these, and I wanted to do these watercolor jars of qualities and have like white paint on them, and I had this whole like creative thing worked out. And when I sat down with the meditation that goes with the Creative Dream Alchemy experiment, everything changed, right? So I got out of that place where I thought I already have the answers, I know what I'm doing, and I got into that place of being open to discover what's here. And when I did this one, so I was feeling quite sick and my head is all foggy and I'm like not even sure that I can do this right and have all this doubt. And as soon as I started the meditation, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. Of course I need to show up as I am. This felt like the perfect place to start, because this is often where we are at the beginning of a new year. So once I got into the meditation, I was feeling really good about doing this work, and then I was connecting with the quality of stability, and I found stability really boring. I couldn't connect with it. I was just like, I don't know, like there's nothing fun here, there's nothing interesting here. And that is something that creative people sometimes we resist, things like stability and structure and that kind of thing. So we want all the creative freedom, right? So I was just feeling all of that. And then as I wanted to fill in my little jar, I was thinking I was just going to color it in brown because stability felt like mud. And then I looked closer at the stability and I started to notice how it's actually shimmering a little bit. And then I kept looking closer and closer and I realized, no, it's gold. It was just my own initial reaction to stability that was making me not quite see it for what it was. So as I got gold paint out, I also had the sense I wanted to add little bits of hot pink in there too, just to really express how it's feeling to me. And so that felt really good, just to create this little thing that shows this is how stability is feeling to me in this moment. And the more I worked with it, the more it started to feel nourishing and supportive. Now, I'm sharing with you how I'm doing it, not to say this is how to do it, right? You don't have to color it all. Like, I have paints around. I enjoy painting. I enjoy expressing myself in that way. You can just write in the jar what it feels like. Like, you can do this literally any way you want. And the point here is always just about connecting with the quality and exploring it, and then trying to express that. So when I did my dream meeting, my dream felt really far away, and I just felt tired. Like, seeing my dream, it was like a bird way off in the distance, and me sitting there like, oh, the thought of reaching for it is exhausting in this moment. So I just sat with how I was feeling, and as I did, the bird kind of came into focus, and eventually it came and landed in my hand. And I felt this real sense of trust, like trusting in myself and trusting in my dream. It's okay. Sometimes I'm going to be tired. Sometimes my dream will feel out of reach. Sometimes things are foggy. I can still find that place in me where I trust my dream and I trust myself. And then my dream reminded me that my current overwhelmed state is temporary, which is always a good thing to remember. So in the video where I share how to do this process, of course, I do it differently than I'm sharing here. I ended up choosing to do it in a different way. And I can't say enough, like, please play with these however you feel inspired to. Like, there's no rules to follow. It's really about, can you get into that feeling of it? Like, how does it feel to meet with your dream? And how does it feel to have this jar of stability, and what's going on here, right? So it's just about exploring. And the whole point of the Year of Dreams, I'm not trying to teach you anything in particular about your dream and stability in that relationship. I'm creating these experiments as a way of sparking your own insights, which are going to be sparked, right? So we're all going to learn something different from this. So in the way that I share this experiment in the video, of course, I say to put this in here, and that's how you stick it in your journal, but I really wanted to do them separate. So I did them separate, and then I printed it out again so that I could do it like this. So then, when I offered stability to my dream, I realized it was more like I was offering stability more to myself, to my relationship with my dream, that my dream already has that stability, and it's me. And my understanding of my dream, my relationship with my dream, that's what needed that stability. And then it really changed. My bird was super close up, like I could see its face and all these details. And when I started, it was just this far away thing. So I have this super close bird. He's smiling and happy and actually radiating joy. And then the message I got was that stability gives my dream roots so that my dream can grow bigger and happier. So that was just a really sweet thing to do. And, you don't have to, you don't have to learn anything in particular or feel anything in particular as you do these. We go through a whole year of exploring different qualities in this way, of like putting your dream into different qualities. Some weeks you'll be putting yourself into qualities, or you'll be putting your fear or your creativity, or, you know, we'll be working with all sorts of different things. This kind of alchemy work, it shifts things in ways that we can't necessarily understand with our logical minds. This is really the work of growing towards our potential, right? So it's the inner work of healing and transformation. And we don't get to choose what that leads towards. We can't control that. What it leads towards is our truth, our actual potential, right? Our true selves. So as we do this kind of work, we're dismantling the places where we hold back. We're stepping more into our own truth. That radiates out into our outer lives. That's where the changes come from. So we're not like chasing a dream or working our asses off to make something happen. We're allowing ourselves to grow into the fullness of who we really are. And then, of course, we live in different ways. So it's a messy process, not trying to control the outcome, and being open to being present with where you really are, and then just noticing what happens as you bring these other qualities in. And it could be weeks or months before you really understand it, or you could see something right away. It could be different every time. This is the work that really changes things, and I'm really grateful that you're here for this, and I'm just so excited about what happens as we continue with these experiments over the course of the year.